focus remains on Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha, who is critical after she suffered a cardiac arrest yesterday evening. Amma is under observation by a team of expert doctors at Apollo Hospital. She is reportedly on a heart assist device at this point. Wishes have been pouring in from across the nation. Top political leaders have wished her a speedy recovery. Also, to get you a quick update on the kind of developments that we saw last night, Governor Vidyasagar Rao rushed in from Mumbai upon the directions of Union Home Minister Rajnath Singh. He visited the Apollo hospitals. Also, a number of AIADMK MLAs are present there. A huge stream of supporters outside the Apollo hospital. Police presence not just outside the hospital but across the city now, bracing for any eventuality at this point. Akshaya Nath is currently right outside the Apollo hospital. She's been tracking all the updates since yesterday evening. Akshaya, take us through the mood really in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu at this point, because we were bracing for good news yesterday and suddenly this came across that Jayalalitha is critical after she suffered a cardiac arrest.
Well, Akshita, 75 days, and on the 75th day, it was seen that, there were a lot of expectations that Chief Minister Jayalalitha will return back home without any issues, because in the first few days, when she was hospitalized, rumors were strife that she's not keeping well and it's very critical. But now, after 75 days, and when Apollo Hospital doctors and many other experts confirmed that she's been keeping well, things were going on very smoothly. The people in the state were relaxed. But on last evening, when the announcement came that
Akshay, my apologies for cutting you short there, but we're getting in another opinion on this issue. Dr. K.K. Agarwal, a renowned cardiologist, is now joining us over the phone lines. Dr. Agarwal, in your view, what really has happened with the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister? She's been in hospital for 75 days. We knew that she had some sort of an infection, but there wasn't really any clarity on what the problem was. But now Apollo Hospitals has come out and said that not just has she had a cardiac arrest, she is now on a heart assist device. What does that essentially mean?
See, normally after a cardiac arrest, when the CPR is done and the revival is done, one of the technique used is this extracorporeal machine, which is oxygen membrane machine, which is something like a artificial heart-lung machine. The one which we use it in a bypass surgery, where when the patient's heart and lungs are artificially given to the person, that is called as this machine. And this is done in many cases after cardiac arrest.
Dr. Agarwal, just one quick question there, which is that is it protocol to use this heart assist device, or is it based on whether this cardiac arrest is a massive one or if it's a small one?
Cardiac arrest is a cardiac arrest. There's nothing like a massive or a small cardiac arrest.
Okay.
Cardiac arrest means the heart has stopped, and the machine is then used, and the heart, it is an artificial heart and lung assistance which is given to the person.
Okay, and how long are they usually kept on a heart assist device?
Yeah, we don't know the clinical the condition, because the medical bulletin, I saw the medical bulletin was that she is completely recovered. This is what we read in the newspaper a couple of days back.
Yes.
So it is very difficult to say, but it has to be the Apollo Hospital has to come out with the next bulletin. They will.
All right. Dr. Agarwal, one final question. Is there some sort of a window, a certain time period, which is when, she has to be monitored very closely after such an incident, after a cardiac arrest?
I don't think so. It is fair to comment. It has to be commented by the Apollo team. But the very fact she is on a heart-lung machine means she is very critical.
Okay, all right, Dr. Agarwal, thank you so much for speaking to India Today and sharing your expert opinion on Jayalalitha's health. As the doctor, of course, said, while a heart assist device was always used in the case of a cardiac arrest, but the fact that what we do know at this point, based on the sketchy details that we've received over the last many months as well, is that she did have some sort of a lung infection. That coupled with a heart problem is what could spell trouble for the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister. And it's definitely not good news, which is why you see these kind of visuals coming in from right outside the Apollo Hospital as well. Akshay, my apologies for cutting you short there earlier, but you were showing us what is the situation outside the Apollo Hospital. Over to you.
Well, Akshita, Akshita, yes, as I was telling you, the situation is very grim here, and it is seen that there are hundreds of people who have gathered just to have a glimpse of what is happening with the Chief Minister. And this was a similar kind of situation that we had seen on September 22nd, 23rd and 24th. And later, once the situation became under control, or when they were given the hope that the Chief Minister is doing well, things had slowed down, the crowd outside Apollo had calmed down. But now with sudden news about the cardiac arrest and the sketchy details that are coming out, and experts like Mr. Agarwal coming out and talking, saying that this is a very serious situation and very critical situation, and the first 24-hour window period is very important when assistive devices are kept. These kind of information has led to a lot of panic situation, and people are really worried. And the hundreds of people who are gathering outside the Greens Road Hospital, it's seen that most of them are crying out loud, thinking that something bad has already happened, while we're still waiting for information to know how the Chief Minister is recovering. So it's seen that most of the officials who have been deployed here are trying to convince the people and calm them down, because the whole of last night has been a struggle, not only for the people but also officials who are trying to maintain the law and order situation in the city. And it is seen that though they've been doing patrolling, and outside the Apollo hospital, the number of people, the number of officials have been beefed up really high, and the barricades that have been brought in, and it is seen that people are trying to breach the barricades and move in. The kind of emotion that they have towards the Chief Minister is something that is very evident, and many a times it's been called as a psychophancy that is seen here, but it is again being reflected about how much they care for the real leader here, and that kind of a situation is really scary, and one of the reasons why the paramilitary forces and the special forces and the CRPF are being deployed here in high forces here, just to ensure that uneventful events do not happen here, Akshita.
Also, Akshaya, we're getting in reports of a cabinet meet that's supposed to take place today. Do you have any details on that? Any update whether that will take place today?
Well, Akshita, according to the sources that we have been talking to, we're getting information that there are many people who are being moving in, all the senior leaders have been called back, and high official meeting is happening. And yes, last night also it was seen that, Or Paneerselvam, the finance minister, along with a few other senior leaders, had a meeting inside the Apollo hospital. But unfortunately, it is well known that in the state of Tamil Nadu, gaining information or getting information about anything related to the government is a Herculean task, and especially with the AIADMK, all that we get is from the horse's mouth, which is the spokesperson. And unfortunately, at a situation like these, people are really restricting themselves from talking anything. In fact, even most of the people who have come here, the cadres, the party cadres who have gathered here, are feeling really worried to even talk to the media people. Most of them just say one word or two words and restrain themselves from talking, and it's more seen in their act of crying and calling out loud for the recovery of the CM. Other than that, talking to the media or expressing themselves is seen very less here at the moment. So the kind of situation that we are seeing here is like high official meet, VVIPs have been gathering here, leaders have been coming in, but till now we have no details about what are the decisions that are being made, except that there's high security, and security is being beefed up all along the place, Akshita.
All right, Akshaya, do stay on with us at this point. For obvious reasons, of course, supporters are remaining very tight-lipped. So is the government, so is the AIADMK. No one really been willing to speak out on Jayalalitha's health, or for that matter, on the governance of the state at this point. But quickly, for viewers who are just joining in and are looking at this news, the news of Amma's cardiac arrest broke late last evening. At about 9-ish is when the Apollo hospitals released a statement saying that she'd suffered a cardiac arrest rather suddenly. And here's a look at the sequence of events that took place soon after that.
Chennai Apollo Hospital has been witnessing unusual commotion since September 22nd, when Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha was hospitalized. Carefully worded health bulletins released by the hospital have kept the city on its toes, but it all took a huge turn on Sunday evening. Another ambiguous health update was released by the hospital authorities at 7 p.m, saying that Amma has fully recovered. temporarily pacifying the die-hard supporters who've been camping outside the hospital premises. Fast forward 3 hours and there was news of her cardiac arrest, and within seconds the premises was brimming with supporters. With uncertainty mounting over her health again, doctors from AIIMS in Delhi were rushed to Chennai as well.
The doctors are watching, sir, now watching, and they are giving best treatment to Amma. So that way you don't worry about anything, sir. Amma is all right now, Amma is all right. God is safe for Amma.
Tamil Nadu Governor Vidyasagar Rao was asked to leave for Chennai immediately, and then began the barrage of tweets of well-wishers. Opposition leader M.K. Stalin and ailing father Karunanidhi wished for a speedy recovery. Wishes poured in from all over the nation on Twitter, from President Pranab Mukherjee to chief ministers of different states.
Hospital has mentioned that a special device has been administered over the chief minister's heart to help her in oxygenating the blood. Well, not just that, there are so many cadres over here. As you can see, a huge number of ADMP cadres are present outside the hospital. They don't want to leave the place until they get any kind of update about the chief minister's health, and so is the police presence also increased to maintain law and order. Pramod Madhav, Pointy Today.
Alright, so that was a report, a detailed report on all that took place since yesterday. Rather dramatic developments this, because the AIADMK was all geared up to issue a statement yesterday that all is well, that Jayalalitha will be back at the helm of affairs in no time, and that the Apollo doctors have said that she can be discharged at any point that she wants, and that was followed up by the sudden news of Jayalalitha suffering a cardiac arrest. Let's go across to Akshay Nath, who's live from right outside the Apollo hospital, where of course a huge number of supporters, a sea of supporters really, who've gathered right outside the hospital. Akshay, at this point, you know, for many in Chennai, in Tamil Nadu, Jayalalitha is not just Amma, she's an iron lady of sorts. She's created this larger than life persona for herself in politics, and that's why we're seeing this kind of visuals coming in from not just Apollo Hospital but across the state, of people praying, of people crying, of people breaking down, because that's literally the emotion that they have, that she is their Amma.
Akshita, this is not the first time that we're seeing this kind of a psychophancy that has been happening in the state of Tamil Nadu for the former Chief Minister MGR, who was also the founder of the AIADMK. It was seen that similar kind of a situation was there. The psychophancy that the people had shown towards him, the kind of godlike image that the people have towards him, is something that is being imbibed in the people, and even now MGR is treated like a godlike person. And a similar situation or a similar scenario has been followed over to the successor Jayalalitha, and every time it is seen that during the elections or otherwise, whenever Chief Minister Jayalalitha is going out or is seen in a public meeting, it's not just the people or the local the general public that are reacting this way, but her own ministers have been seen to have prostrating and getting her blessings. And this is not once but in several occasions we have seen that. Even in the recent elections also that has been seen. The larger than life image that she has been projecting is something that is bringing a huge impact right now, and people in Tamil Nadu have been praying to her. In fact, there have been songs dedicated to her, like how you have songs for deities and gods. So you can understand the kind of intensity with which people have their love towards the leader. And it was also seen that, you know, the last few times whenever Chief Minister Jayalalitha or a negative image about Jayalalitha was their example, during the DA case, it was seen that many people, just by knowing that she was being convicted or she was being put behind the bar, had self-immolated them. So those kind of scenarios are something that is like really scary, and one of the things the government officials are trying to control, because emotions are running high all across the state, and unfortunate situations are something that they're trying to control. And especially after seeing that similar situations of panicky and people trying to get rid of their own life, knowing that the Chief Minister is not keeping well or is under the arrest, is something that people are trying to avoid, and the security forces are coming in high numbers just to make sure that people understand that the CM is being given the best of treatments, and also they're trying the best to bring her back and govern the state as much as possible.
Akshay, there's no doubt that if, God forbid, if something happens to Jayalalitha, we're not just talking about the state plunging into political turmoil, but also of the kind of emotions that will run high. We'll see self-immolations, suicides. We've seen that, of course, during the DA case. We saw it when Jayalalitha initially fell sick. That was, of course, on September 22nd. There was a lot of ambiguity at that point. No word on really what had happened. The Apollo hospitals had maintained that she was just dehydrated and hence was rushed to the hospital. With every passing week, it then came to be known that yes, the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu was actually in a serious condition, but there weren't really any answers on what her condition was. Here's a detailed report, a timeline really of what's been happening for the last 75 days from the day that Jayalalitha was admitted to the Apollo hospitals on September 22nd.
It all began on September 22nd when Tamil Nadu Chief Minister was admitted to Apollo Hospital after complaints of dehydration and fever. 5 days later, AIADMK tweeted that she had convened a meeting at Apollo Hospital to discuss the Kaveri River issue. On 30th of September, Dr. Richard Bale was flown in from London to Chennai. On October 2nd, a medical bulletin was released by the Apollo Hospital claiming that Jayalalitha was responding well to her treatments. But in just 5 days, on October 7th, the hospital issued a statement saying that Jayalalitha had to stay longer in the hospital. On the very same day, 3 AIMS specialists were flown to Chennai. On 11th of October, State Finance Minister O. Paneerselvam was assigned charge of 8 departments and given all of Amma's portfolios. This of course sparked off rumours of her passing away and even the opposition questioning the secrecy that was being maintained by the Apollo Hospital. On October 13th, a PIL was filed in Madras High Court, leading the AIADMK to launch an online campaign to put an end to the rumours about her health. No medical bulletins were released for the next few days, only statements from party leaders claiming that she was recovering. On the 13th of November, Jayalalitha released her first statement after being admitted to the Apollo Hospital, saying that she had been reborn because of her people's prayers. On 19th of November, she was shifted to a special ward. The hospital claimed that she would be discharged at her own will. Almost 15 days later, on December 4th, AIADMK tweeted that Amma was set to return home. But only a few hours later, the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister suffered a cardiac arrest. Bureau Report, India Today.
The last 75 days, we've seen so many developments in this particular story, and all of them very sudden because there's not really been any clarity through these many days on what really happened to Jayalalitha. Akshaya, when we talk, of course, about the kind of ambiguity in this particular case, in the last many days from September 22nd to today, there wasn't really a lot of answers on what really happened to Jayalalitha. With dehydration, the fact that she had fever, they maintained that it wasn't anything serious. That was followed up by reports that yes, she had some sort of an infection in her lungs, and then of course we found out about how serious it was because of the number of days really that she was in hospital. And yesterday is when we got the first concrete answer. It's the first time we've had any sort of clarity on what really Jayalalitha suffered from. And last night, of course, it was a cardiac arrest.
Well, Akshita, it is always seen that in the state of Tamil Nadu, there's always a high level of secrecy maintained, whether it is in the kind of governance that goes on. But the only thing that we generally see is the final announcement that has been made that the government wants the media to project out to the people of Tamil Nadu. So in this case as well, it was seen that there were no proper announcements being given and no regular health bulletins. And after several pressure from media and people, only then did the first medical bulletin come. And in fact, the medical bulletin was not even officially released by the government officials, but by the hospital authorities. And what we knew was only that she had dehydration and fever. And it was seen that after a few days, everything had escalated and things were going haywire. And still, though there were rumors strike that the very critical condition that the CM was going through, the Apollo hospital had maintained that it was dehydration, fever and small infection. And till the last minute, there was no clarity on what was actually going on. What was the necessity for bringing in a high-level expert like Richard Beale from the UK for her health reasons. But what we have to know now is that she's undergone a cardiac arrest. It means it's a very critical situation, and only then would they come out with so much of details. And it was seen earlier also when they came up with more details than dehydration and fever in the mid of October, that again had experts coming down from AIIMS and from UK. Only then did they reveal that people are being brought down and there is something that is really critical and something to worry about. And that is a similar situation right now. Otherwise, there wouldn't be enough information that would have come out. That is the reason why you're seeing that hundreds of people have gathered here and hundreds of people are mourning and worrying that something would go really wrong, because if things were under control, if, as Pratap Reddy, the chairperson of Apollo Hospital, had said that she can return home anytime, if those kind of situations were still continuing, then it wouldn't have been a situation like this, Akshita. And it is also seen that people are coming, more number of people are coming, and since like late night, though only the party cadres were coming in, now it's seen that high profile officials, party leaders and all also coming in, and it is saying that they are having a lot of people inside the hospital premises also waiting for information regarding what is happening, because the first 24 hours is highly crucial, and with an external machine that is being set up inside to help the heart activate, it is seen that there are people really worried, thinking what will happen in the first 24 hours, Akshita.
Right, Akshay, do stay on with us. You know, a sea of supporters outside the Apollo Hospital, a lot of activity taking place there, and this is something we witness every single time when it is with regards to Jayalalitha. Emotions run high, whether it be, of course, during the time of the disproportionate assets case when she was admitted to hospital recently, or even today when she remains in a critical condition. Her supporters have always been there for her. They've, of course, always called her Puraichi Talevi Amma, and today as well you can see it's only like 6:45 in the morning. Since late last night, they've stayed the night right outside Apollo Hospital, all of them praying for Amma's speedy recovery. Here's a report on the kind of scenes that were witnessed late last night outside the Apollo Hospital.
Streams of people breaking down, crying and praying for Amma's recovery, reeling under the shock of Jayalalitha's worsening health condition. It took just minutes for thousands to gather outside the Apollo Hospital as soon as the news broke of 68-year-old Tamil Nadu Chief Minister's sudden cardiac arrest on Sunday evening. Her supporters positive that Amma will come back no matter what. Barricades were set up in the hospital premises immediately, and police forces were deployed to control the crowds in the arterial roads of the hospital. Paramilitary forces were kept on standby. Slogans such as Puraichi Talevi Varga Varga, which translates to Long Live the Revolutionary Leader, engulfed the hospital premises as forces and leaders rushed to the hospital.
Tens of thousands of people are standing on the other road parallel to this hospital, and the police have to control this crowd, otherwise there is going to be huge problem. See, around 9:30 there was only 10% of the crowd which is right now, and there are more and more crowd building up here, and they are also not happy with us covering this in right now, and they wanted us to turn off the camera. We had to move away from them. police asked us to move away and stand closer to the hospital gates, and that's what we are doing right now. More people are here. They are very much emotional. Many cried as well. They want to see the Chief Minister. They want to know what is happening.
Ever since Amma was hospitalized on September 22nd, the entire state of Tamil Nadu has been praying for her recovery. Her wailing supporters and ardent fans have gone to lengths to show their devotion to pray for her good health. Bureau Report, India Today.
Akshaya, many people in the country may not understand the kind of politics that's there in Tamil Nadu, but for someone like you and me who've grown up in Chennai, who've seen this, of course, every single day of our lives, it's something that, we've gotten used to, this kind of craze for Amma, this kind of posturing really, where supporters are willing to self-immolate themselves, where they're willing to commit suicide, where they will go to great lengths to pray for their chief minister. This is unprecedented really in any other state in the country. This is unique politics that's unique really to Tamil Nadu.
Well, Akshita, this is more like a godlike image that these people have created, and the persona that these leaders have projected for themselves, be it Jayalalitha, Karunanidhi, MGR, all of them have created an image of, godlike image, and that is something that has been creating these kind of issues. And even though people have been, given all these warnings by their respected leaders not to do all these or take these extreme steps, it is seen time and again that people don't listen. And in many a situation, like in the case of MGR, it was recalled by most of the senior journalists in this state who had covered the MGR's death also, that there was a similar situation that was seen back then as well. MGR was admitted at the Apollo hospital, and initially there were no information regarding his health reports, and later it was saying that it was very serious and he had to be moved to America for the further treatment. And a similar situation is seen here as well. There were no information regarding the Chief Minister's health, panicky situations and people gathering outside hospital, pujas going on for them and prayers going on again and again, and high vigil being maintained so that extreme steps are not being taken by people, though many of them tag it as foolish act. For those people who are committing suicide or people who are taking the extreme step of self-immolating or showing the tribute to the leaders in such actions, it is seen that they justify it as a mode of prayer, a way that they're trying to say that, please make Amma come back. But that kind of a scenario cannot be maintained is what many have been telling us. And what we can see here again is a reflection of the godlike image that people have been having. If my camera person can pan to the other side, it is seen that hundreds of vehicles have also come down. Most of the ministers and their vehicles have also been parked. It is not just people who act in project them as godlike images, but in fact even the senior leaders in the state have been seen projecting their leaders, and it is also seen that many a times they continually pray, and they've also said that anything that the chief minister says is the final word. And a party which runs that way, a party which is called as the military party by the spokesperson of the party itself, it is seen that it is very difficult to maintain any kind of a situation, and it is always seen that anything that happens in the AIADMK needs the chief's nod to be published or announced. And when important situations like these are happening, it is always difficult for a person to make decisions, and that is exactly what we're seeing outside the Apollo hospital right now, Akshita.
Right, Akshaya, do stay on with us. We're going to continue our coverage on Jayalalitha's health. She is in a critical condition at the Apollo hospitals. Unprecedented scenes also being witnessed outside the hospital, where a sea of supporters have been standing since late last night, waiting for any word on their Amma, even as prayers continue to pour in from not just across Tamil Nadu but across India for Jayalalitha, for the Amma of Tamil Nadu.